Hello and welcome back to Monster Hunter Generations, where today we're going to be fighting a Chameleos, which is why I've changed my gear. Because it is my understanding that in this game you actually need to use fire damage if you want to cut Chameleos' tail. And, you know, it gives me a chance to show off this armor set. It's got some nice stuff going for it. Basically, if I'm hitting a monster's weak points, I will have 80% affinity, which is nothing to scoff at. And we've got other nice things going for us as well. And again, I already got my items ready, so let's go fight this Chameleos. Now, losing focus definitely does hurt. I've been a bit spoiled by it. It's nice being able to reliably hit basically anything that doesn't cause me to bounce off and still be able to use my Spirit Slash after an adept dodge. But, you know, this does bring with it some advantages in the realm of it's got a lot of damage-related skills, you know? Anyway, we should be able to deal with this Chameleos without too much trouble. I do lose about 100 defense going to this set, if not more, actually. What do I even have? 511? Yeah, I lose more than 100 defense. But considering this is a village quest and Chameleos, out of all the Elder Dragons, is the least reliant upon physical damage, we should be able to manage just fine. Yeah, we'll be fine. So I need to work on this tail here, because I would very much like to sever it, even though it's actually his horn that I more need. I enjoy cutting tails. I feel bad if I don't manage to do it during a quest. And Chameleos has the most stubborn tail in the game, though Hellblade Glavenus actually comes pretty close. And unfortunately for Chameleos, in order to cut his tail, you actually need to be hitting the little curlicue at the end of it. Whoops. Like, the whole tail doesn't count. You gotta hit specifically that little end bit. So let's get Chameleos here out of that corner. Or, you know, he can just do a thing that keeps him in the corner and makes it so that we even more don't want to go there. Okay, now that he's moved, we can use that, because flashes actually keep Chameleos relatively still for a while. I don't mind that I got poisoned, though I do mind that he just back-hopped back into the freaking corner. Yeah, flashes are among the best ways to deal with Chameleos. Really? Adept dodge into the other area. I didn't even think I was dodging towards the exit. I thought I was dodging lateral relative to it. But I guess it's angled a little bit. Okay, we've got full meter. That's nice. Need to get gauge. Oh, someone's an unhappy lizard. Well, now we have a means to get a little bit more gauge. Oh, so kind of him to just do that move instead of something worse. Of course, stealing my herbal med isn't the nicest thing he could have done. And unfortunately, since we've got this mist going on, he is... Really? How did your tongue even reach me? I could have sworn I was out of its range. But whatever. Just had to steal the ancient potion, though, huh? Honestly, I feel like Chameleos specifically targets max and ancient potions sometimes. Because he has a very, very solid track record of stealing mine. So let's go ahead and get some more gauge refill. And he's left, which is great because we needed to sharpen anyway, and this gives us a perfect chance to do so. And I've just realized I didn't paint him, but I do believe he went straight into here. And we can paint him in here just as easily. Yep. Interesting how he brings the mist with him, despite having expelled it in a specific area and not expelling any more until he's enraged again. Alright. So basically we're going to be going for this tail as much as possible because I want it severed. Though we'll be going for his face during knockdowns because I also need that horn. And we will try to ride him, it's just in that last area the ledges aren't terribly good for really any purpose at all. I was going to say for that purpose, but they're just really not good ledges. They're too small and too directional. Like, if there was a little bit more deviation from... Really? You jerk. A little bit more deviation from the average angle of the ledge. Like, if it was like a semicircle ledge, then it would be far more useful. As is, it's mostly linear. And mostly linear ledges are not as useful because you can't jump off of them from as many angles. I almost want to just use my other max potion the next time I take damage, simply to prevent him from stealing it. Because, I mean, I could use the additional max health, but if I end up getting killed at any point, I would really regret using it. Of course, if he ends up eating it at any point, I would regret not using it. So, still, I would rather regret not using it than regret using it at the wrong time. Okay, he's mad again. That's fine. I can deal with angry lizards. Buddy, let me get to that tail, please. And let it pop off, please. That would also be welcome. Honestly, I just want you to stop having a tail. Or at least that little curlicue bit. Because that's really the only bit we can cut off. Nice try with the tongue there. And nice try with that one, too. And in stifling a sneeze just now, I've realized an issue with regards to how I currently record my audio. If I am to sneeze, I cannot edit it out. Which, while admittedly not the worst problem in the world, is not ideal. I need to use Sakura Slash, but that means I need him to keep his tail or his face in one spot for a little while. And since he's gone invisible, that means we've got plenty of time to heal, because he does not teleport in this game. There he is. Okay, we can get his tail with Sakura Slash now. Okay, we only got one hit on the spot that mattered, but we did get all the hits of Sakura Slash. Great. Double detox. I know I just have both cats with detox as a precaution because sometimes one of them is dead. But it's always kind of annoying when they both try and do it. Especially if one starts while the other is already playing their detox horn. Because then it's just like, come on cats, can't you communicate with each other? There's a lot of ways the cat AI could be improved. Of course, it would make the cats much better than they are now, and they're already pretty good. So it might actually unbalance some things. So it's really a question of, do we want a better user experience? Do we want the user to feel like they're not as bad? Or do we want them to match the current level of difficulty? Like, that's basically the options. We can have the user not feel as bad about them, or we can have them not be too good. Honestly, I do need to be devoting more of my attention to that nose of his. Because despite it being a health percentage-based break, like Teo's horns, it still takes some doing to actually get the break. Honestly, Cushy's tail in 4U, tail and... No, I think just the tail, was a bit of an exception. Because in 4U, you could basically just work on Cushy's face until the horns break, which lets you know he's at 30%. And then like 3 hits later, the tail pops off, even if you never touched it before. Which was a bit much, you know? And that was a nice antidote horn. Unfortunately, we didn't really have a clear path back to Cammy. But another antidote horn came in and saved the day. So yeah, see this ledge, how it's pretty linear? I say as I get poisoned. That is not a good ledge. But this, see how it's got an angle to it? That dramatically increases the number of angles at which we can jump off it, which is great. And of course, the fact that it curves around and is a platform rather than just a ledge also helps. Hi, Cammy. I didn't notice you there. Okay, let's use this herbal med. Ooh, he's done being enraged. Hi, Cammy. That was a mount hit, but not a mount. Though we can do this. Okay. That was some solid tail hitting. But we need sharpness, which is why I didn't just go for his face. Though I honestly should have. Thought he would get up sooner than he did. Though I think like one more mount hit and we'll actually get a mount, and then we can go for his face just fine. Of course, that is a matter of actually getting said mount hit. That was close. Dang it. Why your wings gotta get in the way, man? I'm not entirely sure what spots on Cammy are capable of taking mount hits, but apparently whatever I just hit was one of them. Kinda wish I had a Sakura Slash ready, because we are running out of red gauge up here. Down it goes. Wings remain unbroken, which is unfortunate, but we can get some solid face time in. And then maybe we can sneak back to this tail for a few hits. I don't know what the deal is, but for like half this quest, my nose has been super itchy. So I reach up to scratch it with one hand, but this isn't the type of game you can play with one hand, which is part of why I haven't been perhaps as aggressive as I would have been. Hey, we got the nose. That means he is below 30%. Most of our hits have been concentrated on the tail, as far as I can recall. So hopefully we can still manage to sever that. If we hadn't put any work in on the tail, I would not imagine in the faintest... I wouldn't have the faintest idea that the tail would be severable at this point. I would be thinking, oh, it's a lost cause. But since we've put so much work into it, there's still a chance. And away he goes. Not limping, though, so he's probably around like 20 to 25% right now, I would think. And if he's not enraged when we get into that area, he is getting flashed. Okay, he is enraged, so no flash right now. But now he's out of rage. Yes, move further away from a wall so that I have this nice available tail. Ow. Available does not mean free to hit. I really want to see the tail come off, and I'd also like to break the wings, but the tail is a higher priority to me. Of course, we're not currently hitting the part of it that you need to hit in order to sever it. That's another part of Cammy's tail that's tricky. Gotta actually hit specifically the curlicue, or it just doesn't count. Ooh, that was a tail flinch if ever I saw one. Hopefully that means the tail cut comes soon. Dang it. Where are you going, buddy? Oh, so far. That was totally worth turning invisible to do. Does he not realize that he can't become fully invisible anymore? I think he has to not. Because otherwise, he'd probably, not waste so much time and energy turning invisible, because that can't be metabolically cheap. Because the way the game describes him, or rather the games and the lore describe him as turning invisible, is he's got ore on his skin, and he uses his horn to run a current through it, and that causes the ore to become charged and reflect light or something, bend light. Does something to light that causes him to turn invisible. And since he doesn't have his horn anymore, he can no longer achieve perfect invisibility. And that's the lore behind it. And the fact that he has to run a current through his body. There it goes. Yeah, the fact that he has to run a current through his body is, that can't be cheap, because he needs to have the metabolic energy in order to do that. So really, at this point, with his horn broken, he's just wasting calories. But hey, maybe he wants to lose weight. Who am I to judge? And away he goes. Still not limping. Also, the paint wore off. So he went in that way, so maybe he'll be in here? I hope so. Okay, good. So I want to get another ride in hopes that I can break those wings. Unfortunately, his face is not a mount zone. Oh, I was really hoping for a knockdown there. So if I had gotten a knockdown, then I could have unleashed this Sakura Slash on his wings. Of course, I can still end up getting a knockdown. So I would probably want to sharpen first, seeing as how I'm bouncing off of things. Okay, now he's limping. You know what? We can just let him get to sleep and then Sakura Slash his wings. That might do it. All I know is I want those wings broken, because they're all that stands between us and full breaks. And I like getting full breaks. So we're just going to wait here for a little while so that his little dot can move to where it sleeps, and then turn around a little bit and then hold still. All right. If he's going to go to sleep, I believe he's already done it. Yep, that is a sleepy Cammy. Though it looks like he sleeps with his wings not in position for Sakura Slash. So we will instead unleash it on his face. I know we didn't get many hits on the face, but still, I was kind of hoping for a knockdown. Ow. Well, not so much ow as nasty. And he's dead. So we didn't get the wings. Oh well. We did get the rest of him, including the tail. I'm always proud to get his tail. because it is a very tricky tail. It's probably percentage based, but it probably also takes quite a bit of just straight up damage, because if it was only percentage based, it would have popped off as soon as we hit it once after getting him down low, I would think, considering the damage that you do before he reaches that point isn't nothing. Or maybe it's just a lower percentage than his face. That would be weird, though. I would imagine it's probably the same percentage as his face, and you just need to do a lot of work to it. Or maybe it's not even percentage-based, and we just need to do a lot of work to get the tail. One of those things must be true. Either way, whatever is the truth serves to make it a very tricky tail. And thus, I'm always pleased when I manage to sever it. That's quite a big flash in the kill screen. I really wish there was a way to get these menus off of this screen so that you could actually see the kill shot more clearly. Like, if they had this on the touch screen, that would be nice. Or if there was a way to just hide it by pressing a button, that would also be nice. Unfortunately, there is neither of those, so they have the kill shot, but you only get to see maybe a quarter of it clearly. Hooray. And now more people will want to talk to us, because that's how this game works. Oh, people everywhere. That's odd, but I'll take it. Oh. Okay. Sure. All right. Okay. And now to Yukumo, because they're the ones most likely to want to talk to us again and again. What do you want now? Oh, another ticket. Oh, ooh. A hyperbrachy, I hope. Okay. Yeah, I imagine this is a hyperbrachy. Almost certainly. And that's fine. I need hyperbrachy parts for something or other. And looks like nobody else is cycling into Yukumo. How weird. Okay. Sure. Alright. Ooh, yay. Once we do this, we'll actually be able to make the high-rank Tigrex costume for our cats, which is a decent thing, and also it's very cute, so I really want to do that. And then over to Kokodo, where they will undoubtedly thank us for slaying the Chameleos. I did do that. Okay. Alright. Neat. Okay. Alright. Now back to Berna. And looks like that was it. So, that's it for this quest. And this episode, actually, is what I meant to say. Join us next time when we do the Cushy. See you then, friends.